Thank you for being here this morning on our Thursday. Let me rephrase, on a Thursday, beautiful morning, and for our September Business Connect call. We're very excited. We have great guest speaker today. I'm kind of excited to find out what has been excavated from Diamond Valley Lake. Different, God knows what, and we're going to find out today. In addition, what's some of the future plans? What's going on today? Past history. So we have a great speaker from the executive director, Alton Dooley, this morning. We're very excited to have him. And in addition, we have so many key stakeholders in this meeting that, folks, a city can only do so much. So we are very grateful that we have all of you here in this morning in supporting the city and moving us forward. The past month, we've met with so many different investors, different organizations. And one of the things that we've been hearing, a reoccurring theme, that Hemet is glowing. We're glowing, folks, and people are noticing. Even cities from Northern California, I forget what city it was, City of Elk, something. I forget the last. I know it was a two-parter. They even reached out to the city of Hemet to see what is it that we're doing. What's all the talk in Hemet? So we've been able to provide them with some information on how we are working with our Hemet Automall dealerships and small businesses. Now, before I continue and give some updates, we are very fortunate to have not only our dignitaries here, but our city manager. So on behalf of the city of Hemet and our city manager, Mr. Mark Presswich, who started the Business Connect calls, thank you for being here. I would like to pass it over to the Hemet City, to the Hemet Mayor, Jackie Peterson, to give lead us in welcome remarks, anything that the mayor would like to state. Mayor, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Mayor. Great to see you.
Okay, wonderful. Now, this is a great thing for everybody in our city, and it's great for the nonprofits, it's great for the businesses, and it's always interesting to see what new things are coming about. For example, like the Rodeo del Sol this last month. Who knew that there was all that stuff behind that building? I mean, it was amazing, all the animals, the land, and everything. And I drove by that place, year after year and had no idea of the potential and what they can do for the city behind that. So it was a wonderful event. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And we're going to give some updates on the mayor's state of the city. I know she's going to be speaking here coming soon, November 6th. So we're excited about that. And in addition, supporting our city council, we have also our vice mayor here this morning, Linda Krupa. Vice Mayor, any remarks from your end?
No, I just want to say welcome to everybody. It's good to see all your smiling faces this morning. So everybody get a smile on your face. I need to see those smiles. You know, it's a beautiful day in the valley, and people are taking notice. And I don't know whether you said Hemet is glowing with an L or an R with growing, but we are growing and we are glowing. So thank you, Ben, for all the enthusiasm and effort you put into your job. And thank you to all the businesses for being here. This is really, it's a good program that the city has going. And we find out more about our own local businesses than we probably have before, which is amazing. And just to know the city is here to support you, and you, I'm sure, are here to support the city. So thank you, Ben. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor, for those welcome remarks. And I'm gonna, at the very end, we will open it up for everyone who would like to say a few remarks, or you have updates. We'll go ahead and do that. In addition, similar to what we did last week, I'm gonna do breakout rooms for about 3 minutes. So everyone gets to know each other and network. That's why we're here. You're not here to hear me the whole time. We would definitely want to connect. So just FYI. But before we do that, I also want to pass it over to our great partners who are helping us move this forward. Our Hemet San Jacinto Chamber of Commerce. We do have the board chair, Coca Longsleeve, to give us some remarks. Coca?
Good morning, Ben. Good morning, everyone. This is awesome. Every month we are really eagerly waiting for this business connect, because truly it is a business connect. And thanks to the city mayor, city manager, the mayor pro tem, and the council for putting this together. And thank you, city manager, for finding this guy called Ben. He's been lighting up fire. Hey, folks, real quick, come and join us. Today is the last Hammett concert series this afternoon at the Mary Henley Park on Gable. Kirby, actually, I keep saying this Gable. I guess the flags of freedom is on my mind already. So make sure you do that. And then I'm sure the Ben and the mayor will talk about the state of the city. It's already on fire. We just started it, and things are happening. Really want to thank our city manager and Ben for bringing some awesome sponsorships already. So you're going to be surprised to see all the things that are coming your way. And I want to thank our mayor, especially for being there last evening for the business mixer for the Chamber of Commerce. As probably most of you know, the chamber is going through some rebuilding. So all the help we can get has been extremely appreciated. So thank you so much, and back to you, Ben.
Coca, thank you very much. And that's a great segue. We are concluding tonight our Hammett concert series. So for anybody that's enjoyed it, tonight is Country Nitro Express. I'm a little bummed out, quite honestly, that it's coming to an end. I look forward to every Thursday, enjoying some music, some food and drinks, but it comes to an end. But it's been a very successful one, and a kudos to the city council and the city manager for being innovators and being visionaries and making these types of events happen. Moving forward, as so you may have heard, we have our State of the City happening November 6th, starting at 4 p.m. with our VIP moment, and then at 5:30 we'll go ahead and get started with the actual program. But the registration is open now, so we will put the registration link on the chat box, so you may be able to see what we're getting ourselves into. But November 6th, save the date. Two more things on my end, and I'll go ahead and do the breakout rooms. November 11th, we do have our veterans event. It's a big thing. The first time I attended last year, and there must have been over 1,000 flags out at the park. What a beautiful scenery and a moment. So for those that have never experienced a Veterans Day event here in the city of Hammett, you don't want to miss out. It's such a beauty. And we're going to close off the year. Who knows? We may add another one this year. These days, the city of Hammett is producing events just in a week, but we are having our big Christmas event parade happening December, I believe it's December 6th, but everyone don't hold me to it. December 6th, we'll be having our Christmas parade. Not only we're going to have a beautiful parade where we plan to expand and enhance the St. John's with vendors and along with Weston Park, everyone, you're in for a treat. If you've been looking at our city council meetings, we look forward to you seeing what Weston Park has in store. And the following day, for anybody that's brave enough to run a 5K, please join us for the Tinsel 5K happening December 7th. You may see me run. Don't judge if I do it in 3 hours, but I'm going to try my best, everyone, okay? So December 7th, Tinsel 5K and triathlon. Now, with that being said, everyone, we all came here to network, kind of get to know each other a little bit, and that's the goal. So similar to what we did last year, I'm going to go ahead for just a simple 3 to 5 minutes since we're here. I'm going to break out the rooms, and I'm hoping we can all interact and share information. Some of you will be in the rooms that you know each other, but some of you will be new. For example, we have SCE, we have Dan Taylor. For those that are in the room with Dan, holy smokes, you're in for a treat for Hollywood Blockbuster. So Dan, I've seen you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. A little sneak peek of future guest speakers. So without further ado, everyone, let's do a breakout room for 3 to 5 minutes. Please, you'll be able to see them now. Hey, good morning, Eric. Thank you for joining. We just did breakout rooms. Just hold on tight, okay? I'm gonna bring him back in a minute.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Ben.
No worries. In case you didn't see no one, well, trust me, we have a full squad. Everyone's breaking out. So just 1 minute.
No problem.
Thank you for joining, by the way, my friend.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. I'm closing up the rooms here. There's a few others that are just finishing up their chat box there, so bear with me. Looks like room 4 is having a great time chit-chatting away. That's the party room. I can see why, looking who's there. Room number 1 also is having a good time with mimosas, I see. So I'm going to bring them back now. All right, everyone. Thank you for participating in the breakout room. I hopefully everyone enjoyed themselves or at least got something out of it. I like to have everyone connect. So at the very end, if there's still time, I'll briefly just pick on someone and a good way to see what you learn from this particular breakout room. So everyone, at the very end, once we're done with our guest speaker, I will open it up for folks to give us updated information, so on and so forth. So without further ado, everyone, I'm going to get into our guest speaker at this moment. We are very excited, really mean this, with all the development and stuff we're doing to have the executive director of the Western Science Center, Alton Dooley, be with us here this morning. Now, I will read his biography and then we're going to get into it. Alton Dooley was born in Roanoke, Virginia, and holds a BA in geology from Carleton College and a PhD in geology from Louisiana State University. Dr. Dooley taught geology for 14 years in a 2- and 4-year colleges, as well as teaching science and coaching football at a high school level. He worked at the Virginia Museum for Natural History for 15 years, folks, initially as a laboratory manager and eventually rising to the curator of paleontology. In 2024, I'm sorry, apologies, in 2014, he moved to California to become the executive director of the Western Science Museum, where he has led the charge for 11 years now there. Dr. Dooley's research has spanned a variety of topics within paleontology. He has published papers in a variety of fossils from different time periods, including the periods of Miocene, whale, land mammals, Cambrian, stromatolith, modern plants, Triassic reptiles, and Pleistocene squirrels. As you can see, my English is being tested this morning. Such of a current work of is on mastodons and other Ice Age fossils from California. In addition to his paleontology research, Dr. Dooley and his wife, Dr. Brett Dooley, have presented at numerous professional meetings and conferences on the usage of virtual field trips, replica-based teaching labs, and ethical museum exhibits and education. In his free time, Dr. Dooley visits other museums and does wildlife photography and plane spotting. Everyone, can we give a round of applause to Dr. Alton Dooley?
Thank you.
Woo! Doctor, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Perfect. How are you doing this morning, Doctor? All is well on your end?
All is great here.
Thank you for being here. And I want you to picture that you and I are up on stage in Washington, D.C., and there's 10,000 people looking at us, Alton, and we're going to just get straight to it, my friend. Your topic has been a great topic of interest. A lot of people want to know, who is the Western Science Museum, or what is it? So let's get straight to it, because they want to hear about this and I want to hear about it. So Dr. Alton, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, on work history, a little bit, fun activities, and what got you into this field?
Well, that bio sums it up pretty well. I've been working in the museum field for almost my entire career. My first museum job was working as a planetarium operator when I was 17 years old. And I've known that I would be a scientist of some sort since I was in elementary school. I just wasn't entirely sure what kind of scientist it would be. I didn't discover that I would be a paleontologist instead of astronomer until I took calculus 2 and realized that that was about as far as I was going to go in math.
I can relate on the math portion, my friend. And we get so many questions, Alton, not only in the city of Hemet, but outside LA, Orange County, even all over the state. Who is the Western Science Center?
Well, the Western Science Center, in a way, is kind of an anomaly. We're an active small research museum in a relatively small community, and have managed to find a niche and be able to survive and thrive in an area where we're surrounded by much larger and better funded natural history museums. The Los Angeles County Museum and the Tar Pits are part of that museum, and the San Diego Museum of Natural History are both very large world-class museums that are not very far away. And yet we've found our niche and our way to thrive, and to partner with those museums and with other small museums throughout Southern California. Southern California is really fortunate to have a wealth of wonderful museums. Growing up in an area that did not have a lot of museums, it's kind of a wonderful cultural shock to come here and know that any day of the week I can go to a different museum and within about a 2-hour drive, and it's just a fantastic place to be.
And Alton, prior to me being fortunate enough to come work for the city of Hemet, I came to the city of Hemet one time, and in that one time that I did come here a few years ago, I visited the Western Science Museum. And who would have thought 5 years later I'll be working for the city? But I say that because there were so many cool things that I saw inside. So what has been found or given to the Western Science Center from the excavation at Diamond Valley Lake? And then I learned that the center also takes on different fossils from around the state or nation. Can you elaborate on what that looks like, and maybe what's there that we haven't seen, and maybe different periods that you've discovered?
Sure. Well, the museum was founded in 2006 as a community initiative. We're a 501c3. We're not a government funded museum. And the initial impetus for establishing the Western Science Center was because of the construction of Diamond Valley Lake. Kathleen Springer, who was a paleontologist who at the time was at the San Bernardino County Museum, contacted the Metropolitan Water District during their early proposals to build Diamond Valley Lake and told them that it was likely that in addition to archaeological artifacts, that they were likely to find a lot of fossil remains in the area. Met took that seriously and put that in as part of their construction plan to mitigate the archaeological and paleontological artifacts. And then a group of community leaders here in the valley decided that they wanted a museum here locally to house that material. That was the reason we were founded in the first place. And the archaeologists and paleontologists working on that project were correct. During the course of the construction, about 900,000 archaeological artifacts and about 100,000 fossils were recovered. The museum opened in 2006 to the public with a professional level repository for the long-term care and storage of those specimens, combined with exhibits to educate the public about what was going on here. Since that time, we've kind of grown because Riverside County doesn't have its own natural history museum like so many counties across Southern California do. So we are the only research natural history museum in Riverside County. And so we've taken on that role as the county's repository for especially paleontological remains. And that's a daunting task for a small museum. Riverside County has 2.5 million people and is geographically the size of almost as large as New Jersey. And we're one little museum that covers all of that. So we've been growing to that task. We now hold specimens in our collection, paleontological specimens from all over the world. They're still primarily from Riverside County, but in California, we have things from as far away as Santa Cruz and Modesto. We have a fairly large collection from New Mexico, from federal lands. We have collections from the East, mostly things that I brought with me from Virginia and donated to the museum when I came to work here. And we're also the current repository for the nation of Kyrgyzstan, which doesn't have its own natural history museum. So when U.S. paleontologists excavate in Kyrgyzstan, those specimens come here and we hold them in trust for the Kyrgyz government until they have their own natural history museum.
Alton, this is amazing. And for those that are listening in, there was something that you said, Alton, that is very, very important that we all need to at least take that in. And thank you for educating me that we only have one museum in Riverside County in regards to natural museums. What you're doing, that's a big thing because we have you right here in our valley, you're in our backyard, and we want to make sure that we're working with the Western Science Center to enhance what they're doing already. Now, Alton, with that being said, you mentioned many different specimens have been found with the excavation. Will you be able to mention a little bit of what those are? What type of extinct mammals have been found? Any Native American history and for those conspiracy theorists as well, any previous past civilizations, or am I just looking too much into it,
No past civilizations other than the native civilizations that are known to have been here over the last number of thousands of years.
Yes.
In Diamond Valley itself, there were lots of native remains, native artifacts found. Western Center doesn't house human remains of any kind. But lots of artifacts were recovered during those excavations going back about 11,000 years. We know that there were people in the Southwest for at least 10,000 years before that, but we don't have any direct evidence of presence in this valley prior to 11,000 years. A large number of the 900,000 artifacts recovered from the valley were native artifacts. Some of them were colonial artifacts, essentially from historical times, things from homesteaders and stuff like that. So we have those collections as well. That's not a primary focus of our current growth in the museum. We're focused much more now on natural history rather than cultural history. So we still hold those collections and care for them. But we don't actively seek out new collections in those areas. We do take some in occasionally for certain groups and things like that. For the fossil remains, for the valley, all of our fossil remains are Ice Age fossils. The stuff in in Diamond Valley Lake, the oldest date for any particular specimen is roughly 200,000 years.
Oh,
But that's one specimen. The vast bulk of the material is between about 50,000 and about 16,000 years old. The scientists who are working the site started calling this valley the of Mastodons. That's the most prominent big showy animal that comes out of here. And there are an unusual number of mastodons for California. Actually, half of all the mastodons ever found in California come out of this valley.
Interesting. Alton, am I
I'm sorry.
interject there? I'm sorry, I was going to interject there, and I didn't want to ruin your train of thinking there.
Oh.
But you mentioned the Valley of the Mastodons. I know our vice mayor, that sticks hard to her in mastodons. Why is it that in this valley, and that might be an open-ended question, I don't know, but why is it that over half of the mastodons were found in this particular valleys? Was it the tropical feeling back then? Was it the weather, desert, water? Who knows? Do you have an idea why that is?
We've spent about the last 10 years working on that question. I don't have an answer for you yet. That's one of our areas of active research.
Okay.
Is looking at the way mastodons are distributed across California and across the country. And we've learned an incredible amount in doing that, including the discovery in 2019 that the mastodons in California are a different species than the mastodons from the rest of the country.
Oh man.
There is a Western mastodon, which we named in 2019 the Pacific mastodon. The type specimen, in scientific terms, a type specimen when a new species is named is the particular specimen that the new species is based on. And that specimen for the Pacific mastodon is Max, the mastodon from the West End that's on display here at the museum.
You go ahead, Alton. Yeah, please.
So that's one of the discoveries that's come out of the Diamond Valley excavations. It was the first new mastodon described in 70 years. But a lot of questions still remain, including why this valley, and why not, for example, Coachella Valley. The mastodons come up to the San Jacinto Mountains and they stop. They don't go any further east. So mastodons in Southern California occur from here out to the coast, but they don't occur east of here.
They were smart. They didn't want to be in that heat.
Well, that's a possibility. There may not have been enough trees for them and enough water. Mastodons seem to like water. But with these other collections that we're building up from across Southern California now,
Yes.
we don't just have Diamond Valley. We have collections from Temecula. We have collections from Murrieta, from Beaumont. We're the repository for Joshua Tree National Park's fossils. So we have those collections as well. And that's giving us the ability to compare these different sites and find out how why they were different from each other in the Ice Age. And we are starting to see some patterns develop, but we're still learning.
That is amazing, and I like I'm not sure who said that, but the weather may have been a little too hot going in there. I'm sure it would have been tropical back then. And Alton, just so I don't take too much time, we have a few more minutes here. How can businesses or cities that are surround you might be able to partner up with the Western Science Center, or even school district? Maybe you're already doing that now, but more in a sense for businesses in other cities, how can they work with you to enhance what you're doing?
Well, I've been talking mostly about research, but our mission is twofold. It's both to preserve and research the natural history specimens and artifacts of this area, but it's also to educate the public about those things. And so that's why a lot of our resources go into our exhibits and our outreach programs. We actually partner very closely with Hemet Unified School District already on lots of initiatives. A lot of Hemet Unified students are volunteers at the museum. We teach certain courses for Western Center Academy that are done here on campus. Hammond Unified also sponsors some of our Science Saturday monthly free events for children, for the public. And of course, we have field trips coming from Hammond Unified and various other school districts here to the museum. And we have our off-site mobile museum programs and off-site events that go out to other schools. We have a very active mobile museum that actually right now is at Winchester Elementary School. That's one of the schools that we visit every year. So if I wasn't on this call, I would actually be out on the mobile museum at Winchester Elementary right now. We also do a number of large-scale public events every year. We have an annual fundraiser, Science Under the Stars,
Yes.
every September. In April, we host the Inland Empire Science Festival. This coming year will be the 12th Science Festival. And in August, we host PaleoCon, where we bring in other paleontologists from across the country who spend several days working our collections and talking to the public, talking to our visitors about what's housed here at Western Science Center and why those specimens are important for their work. We're always looking for sponsors for all of those events. And that's one place where we've interacted heavily with businesses. We also, it's embryonic, but we have essentially corporate membership programs. This is something we also do with public libraries, including Hemet Library. Because we are a private museum, we charge admission, and even though our admission is not steep, it still puts us out of reach for some people. So we've worked with I think 7 different libraries now, where the libraries essentially buy a membership card, a family membership card, and they have it as something that any of their patrons can check out. The library card lets a family get into the museum for free. The library pays a few $100s a year for those cards. And then that broadens the audience that can come to the museum. And it gives people that may be thinking about getting a museum membership, or they want to try it out first, a way to do that without a big investment. We offer that same sort of program to businesses, where businesses can essentially buy a corporate membership that they can extend to their employees and things like that.
That is amazing, Alton. And it really gives out businesses the opportunity to have meetings there, day trips, whatever the case may be, building bonding activities. And Alton, for the penultimate question, this has been fantastic. I know we've started off solely just on history, and then I throw you a curveball, complete opposite, with a business question. I'm going to throw you another curveball here. You know, I know you're going to hit the grand slam. So, what are some of the career tracks for those that, because we put these on YouTube, there might be a high school student listening to this, whatever the case may be. What are some of the career tracks for someone that's looking into getting into this field are available? And is it a growing sector? Will you recommend it, or what is your recommendation or thoughts on that?
Well, I have to admit that the museum world does not pay particularly well. So it requires working in a museum requires a dedication to the mission. I'm well aware that both I and all my employees could probably make double what we make if we were in the private sector. But we are committed to the mission of the museum. It's very difficult to be an effective member in modern society without some basic knowledge of science. And most people don't get any exposure to science after high school. But yet we're asked to make policy decisions and vote for politicians and things like that, based on the solutions to problems that often have scientific aspects to them. Things like water management and climate change, things like that, are all areas that science has a big role in. And it's important for citizens to have some basic idea of what scientists do and how they talk, so that as a citizen, we can make those decisions and evaluate those things. And as part of our mission, we're teaching about science, not just paleontology itself, but how scientists work, how they think. Within the museum world itself, using us as an example, we currently have 17 employees, both full and part-time.
Yes.
About half of our employees started off as volunteers, and including me.
Wow.
My first museum job was as a volunteer. We have about half of our people are what we would call our public-facing staff, people who are either educators or scientists or that are involved in education or outreach or research in some fashion. And then most of the rest are what we generally refer to as non-public facing, although those distinctions are a little bit fuzzy at a place like us. So we have people that we have human resources, we have business office, a business manager to pay all the bills and make sure we get paid. We have operations managers. We have to keep the building running. We have facilities people that have to keep everything operating. We have this mobile museum that I've been bragging about, but somebody has to make sure that the towing truck is running and that the tires are good on the trailer and things like that. And somebody has to fix the air conditioning when it breaks. So we have about half of our staff are support staff just to keep everything clicking and operating correctly so that all of the research and the outreach side can function, because it can't function without those things going on in the background.
No, very good point, Alton. And it's a nice old machine over there. I've been a few times over there, at least 10 times that I can count, probably more, in a beautiful facility. And with the last question before we open it up for any Q&As that people may have, and I may have missed a few that people are thinking about, what does the future have in store for the Western Science Center? Now, before we answer that, there are questions that we get. Hey, what is the city doing for Diamond Valley Lake? X amount of promises made. Just be aware that the city is working on trying to bring that back alive with the city manager and the council leading the charge there. But Alton, for your center, what does the future have in store? What are you boiling or planning behind the scenes? What you can share, of course.
Yeah. Well, short term, part of our business model approach from an outreach standpoint is because we're a museum in a small community.
Mm-hmm.
We can't depend on outside tourism in the same way that a museum like the Smithsonian can. The Smithsonian can put up the same exhibit for 50 years and know that they're always going to have a steady stream of new people coming to see it. We don't have that luxury. So we depend on repeat visitors. We want people to come to the museum over and over again. And because of that, we have a very aggressive rotating exhibit schedule. We have two different rotating exhibit galleries. And so we open on average 4 new exhibits every year, 4 new temporary exhibits. So pretty much every 3 months or so, you can come to the museum and see something that wasn't there the last time you visited. That's a real challenge for our staff, but it's something that's worked out well for us. And the admission numbers that we're seeing since we put that in place tend to back that up. Our attendance has been growing for the last 10 years now. The last 3 years in a row, we've passed over 50,000 visitors a year on site and another 25,000 visitors off site each year. So short to medium term, that's what you see as kind of a continuing change at Western Center, is the development of these new exhibits. In fact, our next exhibit opens on October 25th, a month from today. Life of the Slow Lane, The Secret Lives of Snails and Slugs. It's going to be a spectacular exhibit with hundreds and hundreds of seashells and amazing stories about snails that you would have never guessed.
Alton, I mean, we may have to have another conversation on how there's shells found in 15,000 feet up in mountains, but you know what? I guess that's another conversation. It makes you think floods. God knows what happened before we evolved. But if we got into that conversation, we'll be here till next year, Alton. So
yeah.
I do want to thank you for more importantly, sharing your insights, your thoughts, and really letting us I learned something new. Hey, we have one beautiful natural museum, and it's in the city of Emmett and Riverside County, and we need to cherish this like gold, Alton. So before we let you go, is there any questions for Alton from the audience? Any bowling questions that you may want to know about history, the center, hours? Maybe I missed a question. This will be the time to do so.
Can I ask a question, Ben? This is Linda.
Of course, Vice Mayor, please.
Okay, my first comment, well, it's a comment. Alton, I noticed that Max is on the shelf behind you, which I appreciate. I have Max in my office at City Hall also. But do you do group tours for say schools or businesses? Or
Yes, we do. Besides our organized field trips for schools, and for education groups, which is actually thriving, we actually tend to fill up our schedule. We tend to have more requests than we have slots available for field trips, especially in the spring during the school year. But in addition to that, we have group rates for groups generally of 20 or more, where they're not necessarily special tours, but we give a reduced rate for organized groups of that size. For groups that want a docent or staff person to go around with them, we do that kind of on a as requested basis, or usually an additional charge for it. But we do that on occasion for groups that request it.
and do you, follow-up question, do you have an intern program for college students?
We do. They're usually internship programs run by the colleges that we participate in. So we don't have our own official program, but we take interns in from a number of different schools. I think we have about 6 paid interns right now from 2 or 3 different colleges across the region. So yeah, we don't have our own program, but we do take paid interns from other programs.
Thank you. You guys, you do an outstanding job, and you really are another pearl in our necklace. Let's put it that way. Thank you, Alton.
We try to be.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, on that one. I may have to go intern out there, Alton, so I can see the secret collection you have, you know? I believe, Koga, did you have a question, my friend?
Yeah, Elton, one of the things that we still love is your mobile showroom that you personally used to bring and talk about.
Mhm.
And I don't see that often. You folks not doing that much?
The Mobile Museum?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's on its 128th event today.
Oh, wow.
Um,
I know you used to bring them for different events. I think the State of the City might be a good event to bring to, and especially the November 11th Day event would be a great addition to all the beautiful things we're going to have from the city, from the police department, the fire department.
Yeah, if again, we sometimes there are events that we are perfectly happy to attend, but we don't get invited to. Or we don't.
We
we're
can
not
fix
aware
that,
of
Alton.
Yes,
We'll also
do.
fix that by inviting you to some of the major Chamber of Commerce events.
Mhm. Yeah, we would be definitely interested in that. One reason we used to do a lot more events like that when we first got the Mobile Museum. One of the reasons for the change is that we have a lot more requests from schools for the Mobile Museum now. And not to put too fine a point on it, but the schools pay us to come. So that allows the Mobile Museum to generate some revenue that helps offset its operating costs. So we do prioritize the school visits, but we still do non-school events when our schedules permit and when the opportunity arises. So let me pull up a list real quick. This year, we've done, for example, we did the Southern California Air Show at Marks Field. We did the Inland Empire Autism Society Walk in Paris. Each of the last several years, we've done the SoCal Edison Company Picnic in Chino Hills. We did the 5th District Summer Bash in San Jacinto. We've done that the last 2 or 3 years. I think we're doing the Winchester Community Days in a couple of weeks. We've done that one several times before as well. And we're talking to French Valley about going to the French Valley Community Days. So we still do events like that. That's just we don't always have the schedules and things like that. So, yeah, if you can, email me the, schedule or events that you're interested in, we can bring that out. And in addition to the mobile museum, we also have just booths that we take out, for smaller events, or if the mobile museum is already booked. We actually do more booths than we do mobile museums. And so all told, we're doing an offsite event somewhere in Southern California on average every 3 days through the entire year.
Oh, wow.
It's great, Alton.
So our offsite initiative is a really big part of kind of our strategic plan for outreach, because as I mentioned, we're in such a large county. It's difficult for people to come to Hemet sometimes, but we still have the responsibility for getting the word of what we're doing out to those people. So we go to them if they can't come here. The other aspect of that, and especially for the mobile museum, is that we have it serve as an advertisement for the museum and for Hemet. So when we go out to these sites, the mobile museum, if you haven't seen it, it's covered with bright artwork. Western Science Center, Hemet, California.
Looks very nice.
We take it out to other places, and the first thing we ask when a visitor comes in, have you been to the Western Science Center before? Have you been to Hemet? If they say yes, then we say, well, if you haven't been in the last 3 months, we probably have something out that you haven't seen. If they say no, then we go into the pitch about what the Western Science Center is and why they should come to Hemet and plan to spend a day and visit the museum, have lunch, do other things while they're here. So we see it as kind of a tourism advertisement, both for the museum and for Hemet as a whole.
Thank
I
you.
don't know if you already do this, but if you don't, you should sell membership when you do these tours. Sorry, Ben. Go ahead.
We do
No.
sell memberships.
No, I'm talking about at the mobile booth. And
In some cases, we do.
yeah,
That's amazing.
And even if we don't have the paperwork there, you can buy membership online.
yeah.
So if a person is interested in membership, we pull out an iPad and show them right there. If we can, walk them through the process right there to buy the membership online.
And Alton, we were getting so many different ideas, such as tonight's, it may be a little too late for tonight having you at the Hemet Concert Series, but we have our Christmas parade coming up. We would love to have you guys there. So I will be reaching out to you as we close down St. John's and we amplify the experience for vendors this year. We would love to have you there.
We have done the Hemet Parade in the past a few years. Sometimes it conflicts with other events, but
Nice.
we enjoy participating in that when the museum's free.
I'll go ahead and make sure you reach out. And everyone, due to time here, we may have time for one last question. Any other questions here?
I have one.
Mayor, yes.
Dr. Dooley, you said that you have so many specimens and artifacts and you store them and you rotate them. Are you in any danger of running out of space for all your treasures?
Yes, but not imminently. One of the really forward-thinking things that the founders of the museum did when this museum was designed is they over-engineered our repository space and made it much larger than necessary for just Diamond Valley Lake. As a result, a lot of our specimens come in from mitigation projects. So as construction increases, we tend to get more specimens coming in. So there's a lot of uncertainty, but we probably have at least 5 to 10 years worth of repository space at our current growth rate. Although our growth rate is increasing, so it could be shorter than that. And we are in kind of long-term talks about what we can do to address that. And eventually we will run out of space. And we're gonna have to figure out what to do about that when that happens. Riverside County isn't getting any smaller.
Well, Alton, I need to visit the depository. That looks to be the hidden treasure, that's where it's at. So everyone, can we give a big round of applause for Dr. Alton Dooley for really educating all of us, especially myself, on what you have offering, the biggest center that's taken in depository. More importantly, the one of the few, if not the only museum in Riverside County that offers natural history. Alton, thank you so much for your time, your knowledge, and my friend, I look forward to definitely visiting you very soon. Thank you, Alton.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend. And everyone, I know we're down here to the last 5 minutes, but I want to make sure I call on a few people that wanted to give some quick remarks and updates, and on my request to ask them if they can do it. So I would like to pass it over to our great partners from the Riverside County Economic Development Team. Folks, we couldn't do without them. I feel like we're walking together as a group. So, Stephanie, what's going on over there, our beautiful county and Riverside County?
Hey, Ben, thank you so much. I am so honored to be part of this group. It's exciting for me to see how Hemet is growing. So, and everyone knows probably by now, I am a resident. I own a house here, and I'm super excited for the city where it's going. So, really quick, I'm also the small business advocate. So, if anyone has any questions, you can always call me, email me, text me. If I don't have the answer, I'll find the answer for you. So, I'm here to support your business. We have several different programs that assist the businesses. Business Assistance Now. You can go onto our website and request information through a portal. And then also one similar but specific for veterans. So both of those programs provide financial resources, help with starting or expanding a business, workforce incentives such as on-the-job training that can put money back in your pocket to pay your employees. We have a demographics team. If anyone needs any kind of reports, data, we're here for you. We can provide it for free. There's also our workshops with SBDC, really quick. So we have a couple coming up. One of them is for retail vendors, and it's a series, and that one is starting October 14th. It's hybrid, so you can do it online or in person in Temecula. And then one of them for food vendors, and that one is also hybrid starting September 30th. And then one in person in Moreno Valley, and that one's going to be October 8th for e-commerce. So those are just some of the things that we offer. We have our newsletter. If you want to sign up for our newsletter, you can do that on our contact section of our website. And then follow us on all of our socials. It's at Rivco ED. And I will put my email in the chat, so anybody who has any questions can just reach out to me directly.
Thank you, Stephanie, so much. And I can attest that I follow them on social media, LinkedIn, and I feel like they're doing an event every hour. They're the biggest voice for our city. And kudos to the city of Riverside. I believe they brought a manufacturing company, semiconductor. I'm not sure, from Korea. So congratulations to the city of Riverside. And the city of Hemet looks to follow those steps as well. So, Stephanie, thank you so much on behalf of Riverside County for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And everyone, we have 2 more minutes here. I do see a hand up, but I do want to make sure, as a little sneak peek, we have our great partners from the Southern California Edison, and I want to make sure I pass it over to Andrea Mares. She may be a guest speaker in the near future here, so we'll kind of give us a little tease of what's happening at Edison. Andrea, thank you for joining us. Any updates from SCE this morning?
Yeah, thank you, Ben. And if we had more time, I could geek out about Western Science Center. Those of you probably know that I was born and raised in Hemet, went to school there at Western Center Academy. So spent lots of time at the museum. I want to put in the chat a link for Southern California Edison's upcoming wildfire safety meeting. This is going to be a virtual conversation on Thursday, October 2nd, beginning at 6 p.m. So after work, get home, hop on your computer, as we all do, and tune in, because we're partnering with the County of Riverside, the Emergency Management Department there, to talk about things like public safety power shutoffs. We are approaching that season for high winds. And if you've looked out the window lately, haven't had a lot of rain, everything is dry. There's no humidity in the air. So we need to be prepared for those conditions. But we're also going to talk about what we're doing to prevent public safety power shutoff, like all of the work that Edison's been doing to harden the grid. We're going to talk about customer assistance programs, particularly those that are available. Yes, all year round, but there are special ones that are available only during public safety power shutoff time periods. And those are the ones that are more relatively new that I want to make sure that the city of Hemet and its constituents know about. We're going to talk about how to prepare for an outage, enhancing our own emergency preparedness. And there's also going to be opportunities to submit questions and feedback. So if you have questions for Edison, come join us. I think I may be able to also include the flyer in the chat. I'm going to try to work that. But that link is there.
You want me to pull it up? So thank you for that. I know you wanted me to pull it up, but I can't share it. But if you can put it, that'll be great.
Yeah, I'll try to put it in the chat. And thank you, Stephanie, for registering. And yes, everybody, please follow suit and register for the event.
Andrea, thank you so much. And just based on me talking to you, I already foresee a business connect here in your future if you're open to it. Okay.
I know you just dropped that on me right now, Ben. So just kidding. Happy
On
to
the
do
spot,
so.
right? Jeez. No, you're a great speaker, and it's truly, Andrea, you really work with us and keeping the city updated whenever there's things happening or down. You and your team do a great job, so thank you for that. And definitely it's good to know some of the business incentives that business can take part of from your organization. So look forward to having you as a guest speaker in the near future. And everyone, I know we're here at 9 Coca. One last thing on your end.
Yeah, hey, I have some sad news to share with all of you. Last night, we lost a local legend, Senator David Kelly. He passed away last evening at his home with his family. So, and I know those of you that know of him, he's been a wonderful man, has done a lot for this community, and he definitely put Hemet in the limelight. And if you look at Ramona Bowl, you can see how much he has done. So I just want to let you know. So keep his family in your prayers.
Senator Kelly was one of the driving forces behind the founding of the
The
Western
museum
Science Center.
also, correct? Yes.
Oh man, Coca, thank you for letting us know. And what a loss. I had the privilege of meeting him last year, one time at the Exchange Club, and man, did I learn more in that 30 minutes than I did in 10 years. A full man of full knowledge. Thank you, Coca. Well, everyone, with that being said, I do want to thank everyone for joining us this morning. Is there any? We have 1 minute left. Anybody else that I may have missed that you want to let out your chest, or any updates I may have missed?
Hey, Ben, it's Ralph Berry, real quick.
Doctor, great to see you, my friend.
About a year ago, I think we jumped on this call, and I think it was me and you. And I just want to say great job with growing this call and really driving this and driving the community, because this has made a big difference. And I'm just so excited to see all the different groups that are here. And Alton, I missed part of your introduction because I was burning my tongue with coffee, which is always fun in the morning. But you said something very interesting. You said program, not program. So I'm thinking Tennessee or Kentucky.
Virginia.
Okay, Virginia. Because I've got a dear friend from Tennessee and she says program.
Southwestern Virginia.
But I just want to say great job, Alton. Great job, Ben, for bringing this all together and really growing this. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ralph Berry, and Mount San Jacinto Club. What a great partner. And I look forward to another entrepreneur fast pitch, my friend, next year. Everyone, on behalf of the city of Hemet, thank you so much for joining this September call. We have a great next event next month for the Halloween feel. So everyone, have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there and be blessed and enjoy every second you have in life, everyone, because you never know when it's your time. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have a great
Bye.
day.
Guys,
Thank you.
take care.
Thank you, everybody.